The cake. Ooh. Welcome back to the trail with Mushy the Cowboy Cook. It's a few days before Christmas, 23 degrees outside, but a cowboy cooks no matter what the temperature or the weather is outside. Because out on the trail, you got to cook and feed those cowboys. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make a apple butter cake. And then on Friday, December 23rd, I'm calling it all-day breakfast. I'm going to put out several videos of breakfasts that you can do for Christmas morning. One of them you can make the night before. Another one, it's a 2-ingredient recipe. The other one is whatever you like. You basically dump and bake. In the meantime, let's get into this apple butter cake and let's get cooking. Alright, for the apple butter cake, take 2 sticks of butter and cream it with 2 3/4 cups of sugar. And then we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix that in real good. And then add 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. Now I did go on and add another 1/2 teaspoon of, I'd found this a while back, it was called apple pie flavored sugar. So I added another 1/2 teaspoon of that, just a flavor boost. So what we'll do is to the sugar and egg mixture, I'm going to add 4 eggs, one at a time. Now, I hope everyone likes apple butter. Several years back, Cookie had bought a apple butter cooker, the old-timey one, and been hoping at some point find somebody that will volunteer at his show, and I'll link his show right up here at the top. It's called a People Show. We always have it in November. It's a show he puts on for friends and neighbors. It's not a public show, but it's a real fun show we enjoy doing. But he's been wanting to get somebody to volunteer to just stir the apple butter and make some up that day, and hopefully here next show or two we'll find somebody. I've always enjoyed making apple butter. I know there's some quick recipes. One girl I used to work with, she would do it in a crock pot. It was very good. In fact, I couldn't even tell it was I thought she had really cooked it over a stove and whatnot. And then there's some using applesauce and all kinds of easier ways to do it. All right, so to the eggs, we're going to add 1 cup of apple butter. If you're going to have apple butter cake, you got to have apple butter. That was only about 3/4 of a cup. When we come back here in a minute, I will have added the other 1/4 of a cup to it. Just give that a good little mix. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. In fact, on the side I am making some vanilla, homemade vanilla. It should be ready in another month or two, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, one thing you can do this apple butter cake, you could always put in some pecans, some other nuts. Alright, we're going to do 1 cup of sour cream. So it's going to be most of this pack. Now, one thing when you are baking, and I did it today for my 4 eggs, let them come up to room temperature. Now, I'm cooking outside, but I took them inside and let them warm up for a little bit. And what that does, that helps the cake rise, whereas if you put cold eggs in there, it can kind of contract and seize up and have a little harder time rising. So it just makes it a little fluffier. 1/2 cup of apple cider. I will go get that. We will come back, finish it up, put it in the pan, and I'll get my other apple butter. Alright, I got my other 3/4 of a cup of apple butter in here. And I've got my 1/2 cup of apple cider. So what you want to do is just a little at a time put this flour mixture in here. That way it won't get lumpy. Sometimes when you add it all at once, it can get a little lumpy because it's so much for the liquid to hydrate. That's why lots of times when you see the stand mixers, people using those, that's why they like to use them. As it's mixing, you can put in a little bit at a time. But here on the trail, we don't have extra long extension cords to use our stand mixers. So we use what we have. The old wooden stir and pure muscle. Put about half of the juice in now. I'm going to finish getting this all stirred in, and I'm going to put it into my bundt pan that I've sprayed with some spray with flour in it, some of that Baker's Joy, And I've got my 14-inch Dutch oven heating up. So I'll finish putting this together, stick it in the oven, because we've got a long bake today. The oven, 350 degrees for about an hour and 10 minutes. So let me finish this up and let me get it a baking. Alright, let's take a look at the cake. Ooh. See how it's pulling back from the sides. Got a nice little crust. Oh yeah. Alright, the cake is finished. I've let it cool about 20 minutes or so. I cooked it for right at an hour and 10 minutes or so. Even though it was cold outside, it had gotten warmer and the wind wasn't blowing. So let's see if it'll flip out without breaking apart. I heard it come down, sounded pretty solid. Just a couple little places it stuck, but not bad at all. Smells good. Could have let it cool off another 20 minutes or so. I mean, 10-15 more minutes, but as long as it'll eat. That top has a nice little crispiness to it. See that steam coming off? Oh yeah. Nice. A lot of spices, all the sugars, all the natural sugars in the and sugars that if they put any into the apple butter, but you know, just cooking it down has a lot of sugars in it. Very nice cake, pretty dense, somewhat like a banana cake. In fact, when you make a banana bread, you can always put an apple in a banana bread or apple butter. Let me taste some of this top crust. This crust reminds me, a number of years ago, before my dad passed away, he would get my mother to make an angel food cake, and then he just wanted the top crust. So I'll eat another piece of the top crust. Could always put raisins, nuts, pecans, walnuts in it. But give it a try, but do it your style. Very good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video on that apple butter cake. Very good, very moist cake. between the all the apple cider and apple butter and the butter in it, especially 2 sticks of butter, very moist. Give it a try. Give it a try for the holidays, any time of the year. Add nuts, raisins, anything like that you want to do. Make it your own again. If you like videos like this, please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it, like it, ring that bell, and Mushy the Cowboy Cook will see you down the trail. And use my Amazon affiliate link